What do you think is the biggest mistake men make in relationships? Is it falling too fast, ignoring the signs, or believing that love alone can fix everything? The truth is, the biggest mistake isn't just falling for the wrong person, it's staying too long with someone who doesn't truly value you. See, relationships aren't just about emotions, they're about patterns. And if you pay attention, you'll notice that certain behaviors and phrases reveal exactly what kind of future you're stepping into. Too many men ignore these warning signs, thinking maybe she didn't mean it or she'll change over time. But let me tell you, if she says or does certain things, it's not by accident. It's a reflection of how she sees you, how she treats relationships, and most importantly, what you can expect down the line. So today I'm going to break down 5 warning signs that tell you when it's time to walk away. These aren't the obvious red flags like cheating or lying. These are the subtle ones. The ones that creep in slowly and make you question your own worth before you even realize what's happening. Pay close attention, because recognizing these signs now could save you months, even years of wasted time, energy, and heartbreak. Let's get into it. Point 1. I'm not responsible for your feelings. Listen, I get it. Nobody wants to be in a relationship where they're walking on eggshells, constantly afraid of saying the wrong thing. But there's a huge difference between having boundaries and straight up dismissing your partner's feelings. And if a woman tells you, I'm not responsible for your feelings, that's a big red flag. At first, it might sound like she's just setting healthy emotional boundaries. But let's be real. If she says this every time you try to express yourself, what she's actually doing is shutting you down. Relationships are about connection, and part of that is caring about how your actions impact your partner. If she makes you feel like your emotions are your problem and refuses to acknowledge when she's hurt you, that's not emotional maturity, it's emotional detachment. And here's the danger. Over time, you start thinking maybe I'm overreacting, maybe I shouldn't bring this up, maybe I should just deal with it on my own. Before you know it, you're the one constantly adjusting, apologizing, and bending over backward to keep the peace, while she takes zero accountability. A woman who genuinely cares about you doesn't just brush off your feelings. She listens, she tries to understand, she works with you to solve problems. If she can't do that, she's showing you exactly how much you matter to her, and the answer is not much. So if you hear this phrase, don't ignore it. Pay attention, because a woman who doesn't care about your feelings today won't care about your well-being tomorrow, and that's not a relationship you want to invest in. Point 2. You have to earn my respect. Bro, let me ask you something. Have you ever been in a situation where you felt like no matter what you did, it was never enough? Like you were constantly trying to prove yourself, but somehow the goalpost kept moving? If a woman ever tells you, you have to earn my respect, while expecting yours by default, that's exactly the trap you're walking into. See, respect isn't a prize. It's the foundation of any real relationship. And in a healthy relationship, it's mutual from the start. But when a woman tells you that you have to earn it, what she's really doing is putting herself on a pedestal and making you chase her approval. That's not partnership. That's a power play. Here's how it plays out. She'll set impossible standards for you while making excuses for herself. You'll find yourself going out of your way to be the perfect guy, just hoping she'll finally acknowledge your worth. But when it's her turn to step up, she'll brush it off, minimize your concerns, or worse, flip it on you like you're the one not doing enough. And let's be real, do you really want to be with someone who sees you as someone who has to prove his worth rather than just be worthy? A great woman respects you because of who you are, not because of what you can do for her. So if she's making you jump through hoops just to feel respected, she's not looking for a partner, she's looking for someone to control. And trust me, you don't want to be that guy. Point 3. I love you, but... Alright man, let's talk about one of the most dangerous little phrases in relationships. I love you, but... See, the second she adds that but, whatever comes next is usually a way to criticize, manipulate, or make you feel like you're not enough. I love you, but you need to try harder. I love you, but you don't do enough for me. I love you, but if you really did, you'd change. Sound familiar? But real love doesn't come with a contract. It's not a never-ending test where you have to prove yourself over and over just to keep her happy. But that's exactly what she's doing when she follows up "I love you" with some kind of demand. She's using your feelings for her as leverage, making you believe that if you just do this one more thing, just change this one more thing about yourself, then you'll finally be worthy of her love. But let me tell you, it will never be enough. Because every time you adjust, every time you give in, she'll find something new to criticize. The goalpost keeps moving, and before you know it, you're bending over backward, trying to earn something that should have been freely given in the first place. A relationship should make you feel valued, not like you're constantly failing some impossible test. If she truly loves you, she won't have to convince you with words. You'll feel it in her actions. And if she keeps throwing conditions in your face, it's not love, it's control. Point 4. That's just how I am. Bro, let me tell you, if a woman ever looks you dead in the eye after doing something hurtful and says, "That's just how I am," you need to take that as a warning, not an excuse. See, accountability is the backbone of any healthy relationship. Nobody's perfect. We all have flaws, bad habits, and things we need to work on. But the key difference between a good partner and a toxic one? A good partner wants to grow. A toxic one refuses. When she says, "That's just how I am," what she's really telling you is, "I'm not willing to change, and you just have to deal with it." That could mean anything. Poor communication, emotional outbursts, disrespect, or even straight up toxic behavior. And here's where it gets dangerous. The longer you stay, the more you start adjusting. You make excuses, you try to keep the peace, and before you know it, you're bending over backward just to avoid setting her off, while she does nothing to meet you halfway. Listen, the right person won't be perfect, but they'll be willing to evolve. They'll acknowledge when they're wrong and actually try to do better. If she refuses to even try, that's not just a red flag, it's a dead-end road. And the longer you stay, the harder it'll be to leave. Point 5. I don't owe you anything. Look man, if you ever hear a woman say, "I don't owe you anything," you need to take a step back and really think about what she's saying. Because in a real relationship, both people do owe each other something. Respect, effort, honesty, that's the bare minimum. Now don't get me wrong, nobody owes you love or commitment if they don't feel it. That's fair. But if she's using this phrase to shut down conversations, avoid responsibility, or justify selfish behavior, that's a whole different story. What she's really saying is, I can take as much as I want from this relationship, but I don't have to give anything back. This is how you end up in a one-sided relationship. You give, you compromise, you try to meet her needs, but the moment you ask for something, she acts like you're being entitled for expecting the bare minimum. And if you push back, she'll flip it on you, make you feel like you're the problem for wanting something as simple as respect or effort. A woman who truly values you won't make you feel like you have to beg for kindness or consideration. She won't treat you like you're disposable. And if she does, then it's time to treat her the same way, by walking away. At the end of the day, a woman's words reveal her mindset, and her mindset determines how she'll treat you. If you notice these phrases coming up in your relationship, don't ignore them, don't justify them, don't make excuses for her, because the longer you stay, the harder it becomes to see clearly.